Kult by design is a mature and dark tabletop RPG. Listener discretion is advised. It is a hot summer night as a badly maintained Dodge Polara makes its way across the Nevada desert. One headlight sputters as it slowly dies. The other one failed several miles ago, and it are two characters. How would you describe yourself? You're fresh off of fleeing a heist gone wrong. What do you two look like?
I'm going to assume that I'm going to be driving in this instance here. And so I'm just kind of, given the circumstance that we did just have someone in the heist, get left behind because they died, where I for sure am kind of in this weird calm state of shock where it's like, yes, I look calm, but I'm clearly like shaken up and like bothered internally for sure. But like it presents itself as kind of a blank stare, like almost like you have that highway hypnosis type of situation.
Yeah, that 1,000-mile stare thing going on.
And it makes sense that like I'm not paying attention to the gas or anything because I'm literally in this like highway hypnosis 1,000-yard stare, like you said, locked in state at the moment.
Makes a lot of sense. Jad?
If I were post-failed heist, my immediate reaction to that probably is to figure out the next step. Just because something became out of our control, and that's something that I absolutely cannot abide with. So I'm going to try to rein in as much control as possible, find out where our next gas station is, find out how far away and like what our next route is, and just make sure that everything is solid. More than likely, I do have burner phone, as I would not have like my regular phone or anything else like that connected to my whereabouts, anything else. And if I'm doing a heist, more than likely, I have someone either attempting to create an alibi for myself, or that is just all burnt. I'm not even worried about it.
That makes sense. So, like, physically, what do you two look like? You still in kind of the clothing you were wearing for the heist? Do you have a chance to change? Is it some type of, like, in-between type of situation? The disheveled look? Like, what's the traveling attire and just kind of visual vibe of the situation?
I'm going to operate under the assumption that as part of our planning that we did have a change of clothes, just because we didn't want to be seen on the road in the same clothing that we wore in the heist. So I would say even just different color palette altogether. So if we wore something like, for example, just very plain black or whatever at the heist, then right now I'm wearing something like a light gray shirt and some jeans, or just something that looks very like I'm heading to maybe Vegas and I'm just driving or something, because it is the Nevada desert. So people probably assume either going to or coming from Vegas kind of thing, but very plain clothes type of look. So I would say, yeah, I had a clothes swap for sure, and just very light colors, nothing too fancy.
I definitely would have had a clothes swap, the most kind of non-identifiable. It would just be like a blue teens t-shirt sort of situation, other than my like all black regalia that I wear on my everyday, probably heist as well. Something that didn't match Alex for sure, just because then at that point, just like, oh man, what the heck?
And where are you going as you're tearing across the Nevada desert?
So we're supposed to be meeting up with a contact in the desert, somebody that the audience knows, Charlie. We're supposed to be meeting up with, Charlie at a gas station in the desert in Nevada. But, it's kind of a remote location. So at the moment, it's just kind of very quietly, eerily serene, if I was going to describe the drive right now. But
do you know what gas station was to meet up at, or just like a gas station?
Did we actually establish the name of the gas station? I don't think we did.
Say that we're trying to get some Baker.
What is that?
Baker, California, where the giant thermometer is.
Oh, gotcha.
Are we trying to get to like Vegas, or are we cutting through Reno? Would Charlie agree with us to meet him in Reno?
I don't know. Oh, I guess that's now a Charlie question. Would you meet us through Reno or in Vegas?
I mean, Charlie is apparently involved in like your heisting of some type. So he'd probably pick Reno simply for the fact that Reno 911 exists, and like that's a stupid thing to do.
And yeah, we're cutting I guess through Reno to get to Baker. Does that make sense on the map too? Like, or are we going out of our way?
Reno's like way up. If we're gonna be going to Reno, we're gonna be like, well, there's also like Lone Pine and Big Pine. Those are some pretty major sort of like behind the Sierras cities or some of that.
Maybe we could just make it easier and just pick Reno. I mean, it makes sense to pick something that's relatively easy to get to, but also like not as big high key as Vegas. So,
I mean, flip side of that, you get lost in the crowd at Vegas. Lots of places to hide out, lots of international airport, lots of kind of exits and outs, lots of desert around it too.
Yeah, my only concern is with Vegas, there's a lot of security cameras and
also that.
Well, I mean, like, it's not like we're going to go immediately into the strip or anything else like that. Like, Vegas can absolutely be a stopping point because you can cut through Vegas and, like, continue on the 15 to Utah.
I mean, also, to be fair, we could be meeting at a gas station somewhere outside of Vegas. Like, that could also be a thing. Those are relatively popular and not as crowded as Vegas.
I see there's, like, trucker gas stations outside of Vegas for simple trucker reasons. Those are also pretty good places to change vehicles and lose a tail.
Yeah. I think that would be a good play. There is that one weird, oddly, that looks like it's abandoned gas station, but it's not. That's on the like freeway exiting out of Vegas, heading to like LA, for example. But yeah, I would say like, we can just pick like we're going to like a gas station somewhere just on the outskirts of Vegas, but not actually in Vegas.
All right. So the hot wind is blowing around you. The gas gauge on the car is getting real low. Somehow it's pushed past empty. Your last headlamp is blinking ever so slightly. Off in the distance, you see what might be a gas station. Definitely not the one you're trying to get to, but it's the first kind of glow of civilization you've seen for easily a half hour at a minimum type of thing. What do you two do?
When the thing pushes like past E, do I get some sort of like audio cue warning thing that kind of like, or is it just I noticed the E?
I mean, both. I think probably like maybe the engine starts sputtering a little bit. It's not fully stopping just yet, but like all the audio signals that like indicate something bad's about to happen definitely going on probably.
Gotcha.
I personally don't know if a Dodge Polara had like low gas alerts or something like that. I'm not sure if any car has that actually, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah. So I guess I'm just kind of driving and then I noticed that I finally break my like 1,000-yard stare situation, look down at the dash panel, and I realize that we're just past E. I go, oh shit, we're running really, really low on gas. We got to stop somewhere. And I immediately start kind of shifting my eyes on the road and see if there's anything. And that's when I notice the gas station you mentioned that isn't exactly our destination, but it's the closest thing we've seen in the last while. So I turn over to Jed and I go, hey, I think we need to stop here real quick because this thing's about to give out like any second now.
Jesus Christ, man. I know that, like, okay, first and foremost, I get it. We're going through it. But at the same time, please just make sure that you're checking on your gas, dude. Like, we're in Death Valley. We cannot end up dead in Death Valley.
Get it, man. I just like, I'm sorry. It won't happen again. I swear.
It's cool. Here, let me give you a break. Pull up. I got some bucks for gas. I'll fill up. You just kind of cool off and give yourself a break, man.
Yeah, I just need a breather. All right, I'm gonna just pull in here then. And so as kind of I'm saying that I'm getting onto the off ramp and navigating into this gas station, kind of slowly getting in there and see if I can kind of look a little bit and see, you know, if there's any other people there and things like that. So
pull into the off ramp, you see a large green plastic dinosaur kind of leering down at you as you drive by. And beyond that dinosaur, you see the gas station kind of come into more focus and detail. Most of its sign is burnt out. The only remaining letters in its branding sign are an S, an I, an N, and an R. Mixed with some other letters that have all burnt out or due to neglect or maintenance or whatever, maybe electrical problems. And the rest of the sign's kind of not so well illuminated. It's a large gas station. Not like full-on trucker size one, but big enough to handle a truck or two. More importantly, it has a small kind of like rest area with a restaurant of some kind, probably a diner of some type, and what looks like a kind of junky gift store or kind of souvenir store of some kind. There are a couple cars in the parking lot, none of them at the gas tanks. Give me a observe the situation as you pull in.
Ooh, I got a 7 failure.
I got a 5 failure.
It's weird. There's something about the situation that feels off. You're not quite sure what it is. There's like a detail or two missing. You don't remember the dinosaur head being kind of bent towards the gas station. You thought looking directly at the road when you drove by. But yeah, it's tricks of the light. Maybe it's your imagination playing some tricks on you. There's just something that you're not seeing that definitely should be here at this gas station, but it's not. Do you pull into some parking spots? What do you do at that point?
Hey, Alex, I know this seems kind of weird, and especially given the context of the fact that there's one less of us.
Yeah.
You want to eat?
Yeah, I mean,
because I could use something to ground and just kind of feel a little more normal.
I mean, do you want to like sit down and eat here or something, or are we just grabbing some snacks for the road? Because we do need to meet up with Charlie. Charlie's waiting, but at the same time, do you think we need to like? I don't know.
We could probably grab something to go. I do need to pee first and foremost. Like I just go ahead and do that.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way. Let's go ahead and take care of your stuff. I'll go inside and.
Are you gonna fill up right now, or are you gonna take a minute too? Because if you're gonna take a minute, I would say let's park the car behind the restaurant, or at least away from easily being visible off.
Let's let me fill now, because like I don't want to have to push the car from wherever we park to the pump.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Let's just fill it up first.
So I grab an extra wallet from my pocket. It's Dylan's old wallet. He's the one who was gunned down, unfortunately. And I take the cash out of it, and I just hand it to Alex. It's like, hey, here, we could use this at least. I'll figure out a way to dispose of the other identifications separately, safely.
Should we? This feels oddly wrong.
Yeah, but like, it's super fucked up. But when is he going to use it?
God damn it. Oh, I know, but.
Dude, we agreed to this. We planned this. We executed this. And now this is what it is.
You're not wrong. Yeah. No, okay. And I like half begrudgingly grab the wallet without the identification. And I start looking for a way to see if I can either pay with like the card at the gas pump, or if I need to go inside.
Oh, don't use the card.
Oh, that's right.
I'm going to throw away the cards and all his IDs.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Just use the cash.
So, yeah, I'm going to go and head inside and try to pay for for gas with cash. So,
is the restaurant open?
Oh, yeah, it's all open.
Hey, I'm going to use the bathroom in the restaurant rather than the gas station. So I feel like that's probably going to be a better situation.
All right, so to clarify, Alex, you were going to go pay for gas and start pumping. Jad, you were going into the diner to use the facilities, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
All right, so as you exit the car, Alex, you see that there's a little kind of hut in the center of all the gas stations with a big sign saying, pay for gas here. On top of the little hut, there's also a grinning dinosaur in a pinstripe suit with a top hat and a cane, kind of in a jolly dancing pose, just kind of welcoming you to come spend your hard-earned money on gas. Jad, as you approach the kind of diner restaurant attached to this thing, through the windows you see a few people. It's fairly sparsely populated. It's all retro themed. There's a thin layer of that kind of yellow plastic patina on everything, you can tell. The windows are a tad dirty. In that kind of way that restaurants used to have indoor smoking as part of their deal. Have that thing kind of going on with the windows. As you swing the door open, there's a set of bells that ring, and a couple very tired, middle-aged to later-aged waitresses kind of look at you from various spots in the restaurant and kind of nod at you. Who wants to play out their thing first?
Yeah, I'll do mine first.
All right. So you approach the kind of gas pay station?
Yeah, I mean, if there's no other thing that shows up as, hey, this is where you pay, then it makes sense to just approach the only thing that actually is indicating that. So yeah, I'll just walk right to it.
Yeah, so as you approach, you realize that this is kind of a little cube almost. You're not quite sure where the door on the cube is, honestly, but basically the bottom half of the cube is cement or metal or some kind of concrete as best you can tell, with a little bit of a paint finish to it. And it ends in a black, really black, like slightly mirrored, but mostly just maybe it's dark inside. Maybe it's just a really well tinted window that in theory the person inside can see out easily, but you definitely can't see inside it. And there's a little kind of half moon cut in it that you can see a large set of hands ending at kind of roughly the elbows, just kind of resting on a counter of some kind. They're not severed. There's just not a lot of light in there. Only light that you can kind of see that illuminates the hands is actually coming from the gas station itself. And they're thick hands, like that kind of weird, like heavy set farmer type of build almost, where there's kind of like, there's a lot of muscle behind them. There's also just mass behind them, and they're kind of steepled or knitted together. There's a couple rings on a couple fingers. The nails are not in the greatest shape. There's some hair on the knuckles. As you approach, there's a little squawk box kind of above the half-cut circle in it. You hear, here for gas or something else?
Gas. As I say gas, I start kind of looking around for the cash in the wallet.
Cash or credit?
Cash.
One of the hands kind of extends out up through the opening in it. Gestures kind of for you to put the money in his hand. Which pump?
So I didn't get a good look at it originally, so I like turned my head to kind of get a look at it and put my eyes confirm. I turned back. I'm on pump 4.
You doing a set amount or gonna run it to your fill up?
Just run it to fill up, and then I'll come back for the change.
You hear kind of like some scratching from inside the little hut thing. All right, let's call it 60 to start with, and if you run out, I'll credit you for the time being. You seem like an honest type. You are an honest type, aren't you?
Yeah, no, of course. And then like I count out 60 and I try to hand it to him.
Yeah, grabs it, kind of pulls it into the darkness with him.
Cool. All right, yeah, I'll be right back. Then I just kind of walk back to the car, but also kind of just thinking like, interesting that they're like, you are an honest person. That was an interesting line of questioning. But then again, try not to think about it too much because I'm like, I don't want to get too into my head. So I go ahead and I just take that part out of my mind now and work on getting the gas pumped.
Yeah, so while you're pumping gas, the traffic of the road feels really weirdly far away. Maybe it's how the sound's bouncing. Maybe it's just kind of location. Maybe it's you're just tired. But like the highway sounds you expect to be hearing, they sound muted and a bit of a distance away. And it's all kind of cut by the sound of tires screeching as a vintage, like 1980s New York style yellow cab pulls down the same road you just came down a couple of seconds ago and pulls into a spot in front of the diner. And a individual in dark brown cargo pants and a kind of vintage military jacket and a black cap steps out of the car and goes into the diner. After a couple seconds after that, though, there's a dinging sound as the gas shuts itself off as your car is now full.
Okay.
Give me observe a situation.
I rolled a 9. Observe a situation failure.
That gas filled way too quickly. You started pumping like maybe a couple seconds ago. This car was bone dry.
Interesting. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I noticed that it pumped quickly, and then I thought about for a second just trying to press it again, but I'm like, I'm sure it's fine. And then I put the pump back on the actual whole setup that they have and close up the gas tank for the car and start to walk back to first can I check on the actual pump and see how much it actually.
You can. There's no dials. There's no indicators of anything for that matter.
Okay. So I walk back over to the window. Is the person still in there or are they gone or anything?
Oh yeah, they're still in there.
Okay. And so I go, pump doesn't show the how much I filled, but yeah, let me know if I still owe you more or if I got change. How much did I end up pumping?
Like I said, you seem like an honest type. How much you think you pumped?
I'm not sure. I just kind of just said it and then it stopped, but I couldn't see it on the pump because there's no like number. So I'm not 100% sure, but I want to make sure I pay you for the gas because I'm buying gas from you.
Most people typically know how big the gas tank of the car they're driving is. Strange that you don't. New car?
No, I kind of zoned out and I don't know the exact measurements of it, but like I don't know. I couldn't see the meter. It didn't show me anything. I normally just kind of check based off the meter. So like, I just want to make sure I pay you for the gas that I got. That's all.
You make a habit of not paying attention to things.
No, but I was just kind of spaced. I just want to pay you for the gas, dude. Like, can I just pay you for the gas? Like, how much do I owe you?
So a couple coins kind of fall onto the counter and a couple bucks, and he slides about, like, we'll call it $12 in change in coins back out to you through the little hole. That's change. We like to keep it cheap around here. One of the last stops for a long time, so business is pretty good.
All right. Well, thank you. And I'll take bills and leave the coins and then go. Thanks.
Give me an investigate as you grab the money.
16. Investigate success.
There's a cigarette burn on the face of every single dollar.
Did he give me $12 in singles, or is it like a 10 and $2 and 3 bills have the burned faces on it type of situation?
It's probably like 2 5s, 1 1, and 4 quarters or something.
Okay.
It's a weird combination, definitely. Like, this is not the most efficient way to give change by any measure.
Oh, interesting. So I am just going to leave the coins part of it, like I had mentioned, but I'm just going to take the bills. But okay.
Well, because you got a success, you get to ask me 2 of the questions that come with a success for an investigation.
Okay, perfect. So I guess my first question is, are these fresh burns or are these kind of pretty well settled in burns?
You can't tell, actually. Like, they look new because they're oddly pristine, but there's no heat. There's no, like, obvious signs of soot or ash on them or anything like that. They're just kind of burns.
Okay. Is the cash burned enough that it's not usable, or is it just like slightly, I guess, burned, but still acceptable as
Oh,
currency?
it's definitely still usable. Yeah, this is still legal tender.
Yeah. I mean, for me, as long as tender is legal and all that stuff, I mean, I'm not really gonna. I do find it weird that it's cigarette burns on the faces of it, but I guess this isn't more of an investigative question. But I guess when I was grabbing the bills, were the faces on the coins also burned?
No, they were not. But now that you're asking about that, give me another investigate. I'll even give you a modifier of +2 to that because you're asking about that.
20. Investigate success.
The faces of the coins are fine, but you're noticing that, like, all of the words that are normally on the coins are missing, like "in God we trust" and whatnot. And you can't quite put your finger on it, but the coin faces look sad, maybe even disappointed.
Oh, do I still get 2 questions with that? Okay.
Yeah, you got success. You get 2 more kind of follow-up questions.
Okay. So when you say the words aren't there, now, when you say that, do you mean they're like scratched out, or they just don't exist on the print of the coin?
You're having a hard time telling. These are really old coins, but you're not feeling like scratch marks that would get rid of that. Maybe it's just kind of the patina on them's hiding it for something, but like something feels off definitely about that.
Okay. So upon noticing that, I am going to grab one of the coins, hanging on to it. Maybe like if you said there was a quarter, so I'll grab the quarter. And I'm kind of, So I want to bring it to get a closer look at it, because you said the faces look like they're sad and disappointed in me. Do I get the vibe it's like the face is just looking to the side sad, or do I get that eerie feeling of like when you feel like a painting's watching type of vibe?
Definitely the second one.
Oh, fuck. Okay. So, for a second, I kind of look at the coin and I kind of get lost in it for a bit, because it's really throwing me off that it's just an odd design choice. Can I walk back to the guy in that like booth and just kind of engage him in a quick like question conversation type of scenario?
You absolutely can.
Yeah. So I kind of go back to him for a second and I go, quick question. Is it me, or does this quarter look sad?
Now, what would a quarter have to be sad about?
No, I mean, at face value, I know that sounds silly, but like does this quarter look right to you?
Again, you can't see the individual kind of behind the glass, but the hands are kind of like steepled again. They've been gesturing kind of through this entire conversation to help punctuate the words. Kind of the thumbs start tapping together almost rhythmically. Never heard of sad money before? Dirty money, bloody money. Sure, but have you done something that maybe money might be a little bit sad about?
I mean, no, I just kind of noticing this coin just looks off, and like these bills, the faces are burned off. I know this is kind of silly and I hope you don't mind, but can I get like some different bills that aren't like kind of messed up like that? I know if it's too much, I get it, but like, do you mind if I can swap these out for something else?
The hand kind of extends out to grab the money.
All right. And I go ahead and I hand him the bills, and I will keep the quarter though, but I'll hand him the bills.
All right. Yeah, and he hands you back change in ones. And on the top kind of right corner, if you're holding the bills kind of long ways, there's a small bloody thumbprint on each one of the bills, like someone was kind of rifling through them after cutting themselves. This is all I got.
No, it's fine. At least it's not sad money, I guess, or whatever, but appreciate it. Thank you.
Happy driving. Think your friend went inside if you're trying to find him. I'm assuming he's your friend.
Yeah. We're driving to meet up with another friend of ours, so I'm gonna parking right around near the restaurant over there. Can I just pull it up because I don't want to take up a spot here in the.
Leave the car where it is. We're not expecting a lot of traffic tonight. You could say we've been waiting for you two all evening.
Upon hearing that, I get very like, I get that feeling of like all of a sudden I'm on edge, and I get that feeling of like coldness down my spine because why would this guy have been waiting for me this whole time? And I start trying to see if I can get a good look at who it is, even though it's like dark, but not making it blatantly obvious, but just kind of look over a bit and kind of squint and go, yeah, sure. Is there anything I can do to see if I can get like a semblance of a make out of a face or something like that in there? Because I know it's like dark, but yeah.
It's really dark. You might have to do something to try and like shine some light through or something, but also there's like a mirror quality of the glass. Like, I mean, you could like try and bend down low and look up through the opening in the glass if you tried hard enough or something. That would definitely be weird.
Yeah, I don't want to do that because that also puts me in a vulnerable position to be grabbed by the hands. Do I have I'm assuming I have a cell phone on me with a flashlight, right? Or with a flash on it?
I mean, do you?
I'm assuming so. It makes sense to have a cell phone with that.
So you have one? Yeah.
Yeah. So I pretend to drop the quarter, and I go, oh shoot! I dropped the quarter 1 sec, and I'm going to grab my phone to use as a flashlight and look down to grab the quarter, but as I get up, shine the light towards the booth.
Okay, let's give me an act under pressure.
Trying to be slick about it.
Yeah.
17 act under pressure success.
All right, so you succeed at that. Give me an investigate.
All right. 18 investigate success.
All right, so you're like, explain this some. You're kind of like shining the camera up through the hole into the room to try and illuminate this person.
Yeah, so I guess since I was kind of standing near him, I dropped my, the quarter or whatever. I was like, oh, oops, let me go find it. So I turned on the flashlight and went to go down and grab it. But my goal was to get back up with the light still shining and kind of just shine it in his direction. Not necessarily like peek under exactly, but keep it at like maybe like chest, waist height when I got back up so that it would be at a decent level that I could illuminate it's a booth, right? Or whatever illuminate the booth while just kind of playing it off as like, oops, I dropped my money and it's dark. So I'm just going to illuminate it with my light so I can find it. And then I got back up and I just didn't turn off my light right away.
Oh, sure.
So
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Kind of like you're pretending to like, oh, I left my flashlight on by accident. Oh, silly me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because you passed that investigation, the light reflects off the glass pretty aggressively. It does not help you look through, but as you're kind of going up, as it shines in the hole for a split second, as you're kind of moving up, it does illuminate the space. And what little bit you can see is that there's definitely a person in there, but they're like a giant slab of a person. Like proportionally, they don't make sense. Like their arms are too big, their guts too big. They're wearing a white stained tank top with pinkish kind of splatterish stains over it that might be ketchup or might be something else. They're sweating a little bit, but also the booth, what you see in that split second doesn't make sense. You can't see out the windows on the other side type of thing in that split second. Like it's just like it's total darkness inside the booth. But then once you get past that kind of split second looking through, it just reflects back off the glass at you. Maybe it gives you a little illumination, but like nothing, like just barely enough to maybe see a silhouette of the person inside of it or something, but like not any useful information at all.
Gotcha. And since I am trying to kind of play this off, I go, oh, sorry about that. And then I turn off the light part of the flash and be like, yeah, I didn't mean to hit you in the face with some light there. I was just drop my stuff. Sorry, I know sometimes if you're sitting out here in the dark, your eyes get kind of adjusted to it. Didn't mean to blind you there for a second. I apologize.
Happens to the best of us. Will there be anything else you need, or can I go back to my literature?
You can do your thing. And if you said it's cool if I leave my car there, I'll just kind of grab some stuff there. But you said it's cool, I can park it there.
I'll be happy to keep an eye on it for you, Ethan. Like I said, we're not expecting a big crowd tonight, but the hand gestures around. As you can see, we got plenty of pumps anyway.
How far is the pump from the restaurant?
Let's call it 20 yards, give or take, type of thing. Not a long distance, but like enough that's definitely a walk.
Okay. I want to think about it for a second and go, well, I wouldn't want to be a burden, so I'm just going to park it near the restaurant since we're going to be here a while. So I appreciate the offer, but I'll just move it. But thank you though. And then I kind of just start walking back to the car.
As you're walking away, you hear, suit yourself. And so as you're walking back to the car, you hear sounds of multiple motorcycles making the offering. Give me a observe the situation, though, on top of that.
Observe the situation, partial success, 14.
You swear you hear kind of off in the distance, moving away from you, the sound of police sirens. Not coming towards you, moving away from it. Kind of like whizzed by your location and kept going or something.
Okay. So I hear that. And since I do have my phone on me, I am going to text Jad and say, hey, just heard some sirens. They seem to have gone by. We should probably grab some stuff quick and get out of here.
And on that note, we're going to wind back time to as Alex is making his way across the lot to get gas. Jad is swinging in the door to this diner. As you walk inside, you are Kenny Rogers, the gambler. There's a smell of cigarettes and a little bit of sadness as you step in. For a few patrons there are seem to ignore you. There are two ones that stand out are a large, heavy-set trucker-looking individual and a scrawny, almost scarecrow of a man sitting next to him, both just shoveling what you assume is raspberry or strawberry pie into their faces like their life depends on it.
You said that the waitstaff had kind of given me a head nod. I give a head nod back. I take a quick look around and I try to see whether or not I could easily find the bathroom signs.
Yeah, they're easily marked.
Is there a host or is there like a... I would imagine that there's no host. It's like a seat yourself sort of situation. Yeah. I'm going to kind of pop up to the diner bar, kind of like the diner counter and stuff, and just kind of lean over and kind of grab a menu if it's what's available. My goal is to get something that can be made quick and simply. So probably like a cold cut sandwich, bag of chips, and a drink, and get that ordered while I head to the facilities.
So the menu is pretty sparse. Like it lists hamburgers, chili, hot dogs, eggs, and that's about it. It has a couple beverages. A little kind of scratched on notes saying, ask for beer, we might have it. But yeah, it's not a great menu at all.
If anything, I'm going to grab 4 hot dogs, or I'm going to kind of raise the menu, kind of signaling that I'm ready to go. And I would like to order 4 hot dogs when the waitstaff show up.
All right, yeah. Someone takes your order and they kind of look at you. You go to the bathroom while they're cooking it, or do you kind of sit? You kind of stay and wait for the food?
Oh, I go to the bathroom while they're cooking it. Oh, and I yell across, Also, just some coffees to go, please.
So as you get up, you hear the door you enter through kind of clang open, and an individual in dark brown cargo pants, kind of vintage military green jacket, and a black hat pulled down to kind of obscure their eyes, steps in, makes a beeline for a booth, not directly behind the chair you took, but like slightly behind and to the left. And kind of the wait staff also nod in acknowledgement of him, and he sits down. But yeah, you go to the bathroom. The bathroom for here is in not great shape. It's functional, but the entire bathroom is just littered in graffiti of varying qualities and varying aggressive levels. Like it's scratches, pens, markers, spray paint, like any way you can deface a surface, there's some representation of it here. You see a variety of neo-Nazi symbolism. Basically anything you could imagine in a bathroom in the middle of nowhere that could be used to mark up a wall is present. You also see a bunch of kind of like strange squiggles you don't immediately recognize. You see a variety of notes saying like so-and-so was here. Yeah, again, like use your imagination, just kind of, if you've ever seen it in a bathroom in the middle of nowhere, it's probably on the walls here, either carved or painted or etched or something along those lines against the owner's will.
I have a weird compulsion to read stuff.
Yeah.
Whenever I come across it, whether it be billboards, just like little things that are just written on buildings and whatnot. I'd typically end up reading a little bit of graffiti while I use the restroom, wash my hands, and then pop out and wait for the food. Do I notice anything weird?
I mean,
are there any is there any like fun graffitis or whatever the heck that kind of catch my eye or anything else like that?
I mean, like directly across from kind of like at eye level above the toilet you wind up using, or within your eye level, whatever, however you wind up using the toilet, I guess. There's something that's as a note saying the Chili's to die for, and the word die underlined like 6 times with score marks, and a couple other notes like that. Like there is kind of a reoccurring theme though of several people's like a lot of so and so was here's followed by someone saying like almost answering that saying I'm trying to find so and so. Has anyone seen them? Like, and give me an observe the situation.
13, partial success.
There's a lot of graffiti, so much so that like it's hard to keep track of it all. And like it, kind of whenever you turn your head, taking kind of some of it out of your field of view, and you turn back, you swear it's slightly different every single time as you kind of look around.
You did mention that it seems slightly different. So, lore drop, I lucid dream pretty frequently, and it's one of those things that I get a little confused sometimes waking up because I need to always like, what's it called? Double check some stuff. I'm going to look to see if I can find a phone number on the wall. I'm going to look at that phone number, turn my head, look back at that, and double check to see if the phone number remains the same or if there's anything that changed about that specific graffiti. But
All
I'm
right.
Singling out a piece of graffiti and I'm doing like a reality check on myself.
Yeah, you're looking for a phone number. Give me an investigate.
So that is a 11, but modified to a 12 because I'm acting on one of my answers. But that is still a partial success.
All right, so yeah, you find a phone number, normal enough phone number. You call it?
No. Oh God, no. I'm not calling one of the for a good time phone numbers. I'm just gonna look at it, memorize it, and then look away, and then just look back to check to make sure that the phone number stays the same.
I mean, the phone number is still definitely there. It's still the same.
Cool. So yeah, that's just one of my reality checks. Are just like written down stuff that's like longer than 4 words or numbers that are longer than a specific strain. I always just make sure to see that that's the same. But yeah, that kind of like after doing the reality check, that kind of like brings me back to where I'm at, grounding myself, flush with my foot, wash my hands. And
so in the reflection of the mirror on the wall directly behind where you're washing your hands, in a impossibly clear seeming spot, reads the words, "Why did you leave me?"
I take a look back because if there's something that's like clearly legible on the mirror, then someone must have written it backwards. So I take a look back and try to look at the spot that would be at.
That's the mess of graffiti and symbols and phone numbers and scrawling.
I look back at the mirror. Is that graffiti still there?
No, the words, "They're coming to get you," are written there, though.
I actually got chills. I just kind of close the water, with my forearms, and I don't even try to find a paper towel. I'm just wiping my hands on my pants, and I open the bathroom door to get back to the restaurant.
Do you break eye contact with the words at any point during that process?
As I'm washing my hands, I realize that I don't even think I fully rinse the soap off of my hands before I turn off the water when I read they're coming to get you. Just because I'm just gonna trust my gut feeling, and it's nope, bad sign, bad omens. I'm gonna shut the water and head back out, see if the food's ready.
So to answer my question, did you break eye contact with the words?
I did break eye contact with the words.
So when you look up, the words are different for a third time, and they just say, all Dylan did was die tired.
I'm out. I am out. I leave the bathroom, wipe my hands on my pants, see if those 4 hot dogs are ready.
They are, and there's 2 cups of coffee.
I pull out $40 from my wallet. I place it on the table. I pick up the food and I leave. I know I severely overpaid, but I'm out.
So as you put the money down, one of the waitresses who looks a little bit scared, she's younger than everyone there, maybe 18 tops in age type of thing, looks at you and goes, oh no, your friend there already paid for it. And she points at the man in the kind of vintage military jacket and brown pants and black hat pulled down over his eyes.
I take back a 20. Thank you. And I just grab the food and I just kind of start walking out.
So as you start walking out, the stranger at the table goes, strange time to start being generous, ain't it?
Sometimes the spirit kind of fills you up. You have a good day, sir. Thank you. And resume my way out the door.
Door makes a ringing sound as you open it up, and you step outside to the sound of bikers kind of pulling into the gas station, and your phone kind of makes a text alert sound.
I am going to check that in a second. I've got a little flip phone with me, but I take a quick look around to see where Alex is at.
Alex, I believe you're back at the car, correct?
So I decided to move the car closer to the restaurant.
Right, yeah.
Is what I decided. But yes, I got into the car and pulled up to the restaurant. I guess a parking spot really close to the front of it. Yeah.
If I can see Alex from the restaurant door, then I will head over to him. If I can't see him, I'm going to walk out into the parking lot to get a better look.
Okay, are you being stealthy about that or just kind of casual?
It's kind of casual, just wait. So, do I see Alex or do I not?
I mean, you're not hiding anything, Alex. You're just kind of are you outside the car? Are you in the car? Your car also is not exactly nondescript.
Yeah, I'm sitting. I mean, I figured I was basically going to move the car over there and then kind of sit there for a second until either Jad walked out or I'd go in there looking for them. But I was going to sit in there for a second, not to go anywhere else.
I mean, yeah, you're right. It's a nondescript car. I'm pretty sure I can.
It's a pretty iconic car. It's not exactly subtle.
Yeah. All right. From seeing Alex, I put the hot dogs on the top of the roof and I open the door. The hot dogs, and I just kind of sit down real quick. As I'm sitting down and kind of putting stuff down, I'm buckling up and shutting the door. We got to go. Let's get out of here.
Fucking telling me, let's get the fuck out of here. So I turn the car back on. And then just because it hit me and I'm worried about it. Actually, no, because I feel like that might be a little bit metagaming. I was going to check the gas gauge and see what it says.
You're at full.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I just say, yeah, no, you're fucking telling me. Turn on the car and I start heading for the exit and try to get back on the highway.
All right. So as you're pulling out, the man in the black hat comes out of the diner and gets into his cab and kind of turns it on and looks at you and kind of nods. You never see his eyes, though. The hat's always kind of pulled down so much you can't see them. He's definitely looking at you as kind of bikers, hundreds of them, slowly kind of fill into the gas station and kind of take up every pump. They are clogging all the alleys, kind of pathways through. They're loud, they're obnoxious. Some of them are just kind of parked in the middle of laneways and stuff like that. What do you do?
Do I have a path? Can I navigate around them, or are they just completely all over the exit?
I mean, there's no obvious path. They are blocking any normal form of traffic. You'll have to do a test of some kind to kind of see if you can drive through this.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of try to navigate my way around it and kind of just show the intention that I'm trying to get out. So hopefully that they get out of the way.
All right, give me an act under pressure.
Okay. 6, act under pressure failure.
Yeah, so you're making barely any progress, and more and more bikers should be kind of swarming in around you. A couple of them slam their hands on your car. There's a bunch of yelling at you. Both of you give me a keep it together.
I rolled an 8 failure.
I rolled a 19 success.
All right, so Alex, you're going to drop down 1 point of stability from shaken to distressed. Jad, this is bad, but like you've dealt with worse already this evening, it seems.
Funny enough, this is probably something that I've experienced or whatever have you, or whatnot. How big is the inside? Like, these are boats, right?
Oh yeah, they're not subtle cars, no.
Yeah. Hey, Alex, this is probably not going to be an easy thing to do. I totally forgot I was supposed to take the next driving shift. You want me to take over, or?
I mean, do you want to get out right now with this situation?
I mean, like, easy enough. Hey, some folks a little rowdy. That's cool. It's a party atmosphere. People are still people. If we're just trying to get out of the way, I'm pretty sure these guys will kind of be able to let us out. Or we could talk at least. Be like, hey, man, excuse me. We're just trying to maneuver.
The inside of this car, is it big enough if I wanted to, like, just try to jump in the back so Jad can jump in the driver's seat? Is there enough room for me to do that? Or is it like a pretty smaller cabin?
It's a 1964 vehicle, so it's probably roomy enough. It might even be a bench seat. I actually don't know what they have in these things. I will say that it is a car that does not have a second set of doors in the back, so it's not exactly a spacious vehicle.
Yeah. Okay. I look over and I'm like, yeah, all right, well, yeah, I guess we can just try to navigate through it, man. I don't know. I'm getting a weird vibe. Just out of curiosity, like, all the bikers that showed up, can we see their faces?
Yeah, they're just bikers, beards,
Okay.
bad tattoos, leather vests, a couple of them have helmets, a couple of them don't.
Okay.
You don't recognize the cut they're all wearing, though. They're all definitely part of a gang of some kind or some type of MC, but like not one famous stuff you've heard of, or maybe it's something made up. Who knows?
Hey, for the time being, it's chill enough, at least for right now. They're not trying to fuck around with anything. Let's just wait out until they all fill in, figure out where they're all going. They're going to clear up, more than likely. If anything, you just roll down the window and just kind of see what's going on, or have a conversation with them. Your side's locked, though?
Yeah, my side's locked, but I'm going to tell you right now, shit gets too rowdy, I'm hitting the gas.
All right. What type of gun do I have?
You have a 45 caliber pistol.
45 caliber pistol. God damn. With half loaded magazine, you said?
Yep.
I think I still have a couple shots left. Not like, obviously it's more so just going to be a declaration of what we have, but I'd rather not try to pull heat at the moment. If you can, just see if you can kind of maneuver around. Let's try to get close. Let's try to get out of here.
After hearing that, I will, both hands on the steering wheel, attempt to slowly maneuver my way around them again.
All right, give me another act under pressure.
Act under pressure, partial success.
You're making progress, but not a lot. Like, you're making inches. The bikers are not moving, so much so that kind of like you nudge a couple of them. Not enough to injure them, but enough that kind of like two of them like slam their fists down hard onto the hood of your car, and like one races up to the window on either side of the car kind of thing, and like starts like motioning to roll the window down.
You start motioning at me, or
both of you? There's like
okay.
You're surrounded. There's like easily like 12 people around your car now.
Okay. So as I'm trying to navigate around, like, I look over at Jed and go, they want us to roll down the window. What do you want to do?
Well, we got the car surrounded, so let's just try to see if we can open up some space. I cracked my window maybe about like an inch or two.
I will follow suit.
Hey, man, what's up? Hey, super sorry. We're just trying to get out. Real chill, real cool. Do you mind if we scooch on by? You guys, there's going to be like a parking spot open in front of the restaurant too, so.
What the fuck gives, brother? You hit long fingers.
Hey, our bad. We're just trying to get from one place, and we're a little tired. We're just trying to get to like a hotel or motel or something around here.
How about you shut the fuck up, sit in your cage, and don't move until we clear out?
All right. Alex, are you down to chill for a little bit, or?
I look over at Jed and I go, say the word.
There's a whole bunch of them. I think we need any additional heat on us. You said that you heard sirens. Let's keep it to just making sure we're looking out for sirens and not for motorcycles.
Yeah, but they're on bikes.
I know, but here's the thing. Let's give it a couple minutes. It's easier to knock over a bike that doesn't have anybody on it than a bike that does.
Fine.
I reach into my bag and hand him a hot dog.
I will accept the hot dog and just kind of sit there surrounded by a bunch of bikers trying to eat this hot dog.
Yeah, so how long are you willing to wait for? Would like an hour be too much time?
God, that's so long.
That is so long. I was thinking like 10 minutes max.
Oh, the bikers are kind of funneling into the diner. They're causing havoc. Like, they're just milling about. They're in no rush to get anywhere. Give me a number of how long you think you'd start to get antsy at.
10 minutes is an accurate number. In fact, at the 10th minute, do I have people around me or is it just bikes parked around me?
Bikes, people, it's just kind of a mass of motorcycle and biker.
Okay. Weird concepts. Alex, just really weird concept. So we have an opportunity here in terms of we are suddenly at a biker bar and we're kind of surrounded. Yes, we do need to meet Charlie. We can text him that we're going to be a little late. But if we're trying to get from point A to point B without trying to get any kind of scurry or whatever the heck, mixed with the fact that we are now camouflaged as a single muscle car in amidst a whole bunch of bikes, I think we got a little bit of a cover. Do you want to use this as kind of like a chance rest, or do we want to go?
I mean, I'm sure shit not resting, sitting here surrounded by a bunch of bikers.
Because we could pop back into the restaurant and just kind of have a drink, eat our food, or do whatever the heck. I mean, it's not the best kind of situation, but at least like they're here for one thing, and they're not. So far, they're not trying to start trouble without instigation. I check the side mirror and like the back mirror. Do I see the cab driver still and that guy?
Yeah, he's just chilling. Maybe see kind of the glow of a cigarette or something burning in the cab as he's sitting there. He's in the same situation you are. I will tell you, though, that there's something strange about the cab. It claims to be from the Boston Cab Company, which is quite a long ways to go to wind up in Nevada.
I recognize that, and I'm just going to put that in my back pocket. So, how you feeling? You ready to drum up some heat, or do you want to cool down and try to ride this out? Because we're trying to meet up with Charlie, not bring a gang of bikers over to...
We can wait it out, I guess, man. I don't mean to just bend on you about it, but I just want to get out of here. Like,
I get it. I mean, we haven't really talked about the fact that Dylan's dead.
Yeah.
But we need to just be careful and plan accordingly. Because we already have that on our heads. We already have that on our hands. We're not trying to carry any more than what we need. How about this? You want to at least just like switch seats? So that way, when we're ready to go, I could just drive on out?
Yeah, I think that's a good call, but not getting out of this car to switch seats. So let me just try to get in the back and you can jump in the driver's seat. Then I'll go in the passenger seat here, get out of the car. So at that point, I'm going to go ahead and try to just like get to the back seat through the middle part of the vehicle and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's not graceful that you managed to do it. It just takes a little bit of time and a little kind of foot waving, and maybe you knock each other around a little bit, but nothing beyond jostling.
Well, time I definitely have right now. So
yeah, some of the bikers probably make fun of you through the glass of your car type of thing as you're trying to reposition, but you're just going to sit there now?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so about an hour passes at that point, and both of your phones suddenly ding with a text message.
I go ahead and grab my phone and read the message.
I look at my phone. Oh, hey, super sorry I didn't respond to your text earlier. My bad.
I mean, I ran into you outside of the restaurant. I figured you saw it. If not, doesn't matter. We were already met up and all that.
I look at my phone, and who's the text message from?
So both of your phones have an identical message, and it simply reads, "This is when the fun part starts." And there's no phone number. It just says Boston Cab Company.
While I'm looking at my phone, I just kind of lean back a little bit, and I pull the gun out from my waistband.
As soon as I see that, I immediately know that some shit's about to go down. So I kind of start to brace myself for what might be coming.
Okay. So I just got a text message from a Boston Cab Company. I've just been kind of keeping an eye on this guy, but that's the yellow cab right over there. I've been catching some weird ass messages a little bit ago. I got some changing graffiti sort of situation that was happening earlier. Question. I know you're not. Can you shoot if I need a dip?
Yeah.
All right. I put the gun in the to-go bag, and I hand the to-go bag to Alex. I put the keys in the ignition, and I'm gonna wait a little bit. I imagine we're still surrounded by like empty bikes and everything else like that, but I am trying to keep an eye on the Boston Cab Company.
Your hand on the keys, basically?
I would say that my hands are on my knees, which are the way that I sit in a car. Like I sit pretty up front. Like my knees are kind of always at a 90-degree angle. Like my resting knee is always at like a 90-degree angle or just kind of close whenever I drive.
Sure.
So with my knees right there, I would say it's like just close to the ignition that I could just kind of get it going.
No, sure. I get it, yeah. So one of the bikers a little ways away is kind of messing with his bike, and you hear kind of like a radio crackle to life, and it says,
"Last seen fleeing towards Las Vegas in a vintage Dodge Polara. These two suspects are considered armed and extremely dangerous. At least one officer was killed at the scene of a robbery earlier today. This has been the hottest news of the day in the area so far."
and then it goes on to kind of give details of what you look like and the bank you failed to rob. And what color is your car, by the way?
Seafoam green with the fucking candy sparkle.
Ooh.
They originally get the car color wrong, and then the announcer goes,
"My apologies. The color of the car I gave earlier was incorrect. It's in fact not a deep teal color, but a seafoam green with, that can't be right, candy sparkles? How does that sense even mean, Janet? What do you mean you just report what they tell you? Anyways, yes, keep your eyes out for a vintage Dodge Polaro in whatever the hell color seafoam green is, driven by two individuals. They're highly armed and dangerous. Report any sightings you have to the police."
your phone's ding again.
I immediately grab my phone and check the message.
I start the car. And are we driving manual or automatic?
Oh, this is definitely a manual.
Oh, tight. Cool. I start the car, hit the clutch, and swing to reverse, and I just immediately start backing out. I don't give a shit who's behind me. I'm gonna start knocking things over.
Sure. So you check the text message, though, Alex?
Yeah.
It simply reads, "It's more fun if you run," from the Boston Cab Company.
So I look at it and go, it's more fun if you run from the Boston Cab Company. What the fuck does this even mean? Let's get the fuck out of here. I just grab the gun right out of the bag at this point and just have it ready to go. Fuck this.
All right, Jad, give me an act under pressure to see how effectively you kind of drive your way out of here in a reckless manner.
Ooh, partial success, baby, with a 14. I do it, hesitate, are delayed, or must deal with a complication.
So the good news is you don't run any of the bikers over. Bad news is you do knock over and damage and run over at least a few of the bikes, and the bikers are pissed. But you do kind of manage to force your way out of here, causing a bit of a row and this property damage, probably go over a curb a little bit, and you peel off into the night. Behind you, at about like a minute or two delay, you hear the roar of dozens, maybe 100 plus motorcycles rev into life. What do you do?
So I am. What time of night is it?
Sometime between dark sundown and we'll say dawn. Easily midnight, probably.
Easily midnight?
Yeah.
Sick. No, you know what? I'm excited. So never mind. Part of me was thinking I was going to start driving without the lights on, but I think that's going to be a stupid idea. So yeah, I'm just going to gun it, and I'm going to try to see if there's any kind of upcoming cities or access roads or side roads or anything else like that. But I'm just going to try to be mindful and just kind of get away as best as I can. Alex, I'm going to need you to start looking to see if there's any kind of like off roads or access roads or anything else like that. So that way we can hopefully, or maybe like find a secondary route. Worst case scenario, I turn off my lights, flip a Yui, and try to drive past them or kind of surprise them at least with that. But just let me know. I need you to navigate.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Also, text Charlie that we're going to be like real late. I know that we already kind of burned an hour, but definitely that's not something that we're going to be seeing him anytime soon, especially if we got a hot tail on us.
Yeah, I'll message him now. So I think I'm down for a second, so I can send the message and then grab the gun, and then I guess I start trying to navigate on my phone.
All right, yeah. So you kind of roar out into the night. This is not a fuel efficient car, but it's a fast one. It gets to 100 miles an hour pretty goddamn quick, and you're just roaring down the highway in the dark. One remaining headlamp is not improved. It's still flickering some, and the flickering's getting a little bit worse. You can hear dozens, maybe 100 plus motorcycles roaring down the highway behind you. You kind of see various pinpoints of light of their headlamps. Give me an observe the situation.
I got a 9 failure.
I got a 13 partial success.
All right, so it makes sense, Jad. You're kind of focused on the road, just hauling ass on this one, trying to keep the car in safety. Alex, you notice off in the distance, coming towards you, are the very vague blinking red and light oscillating lights.
Fuck. Can I look around and see like if they're like behind us, in front of us?
Oh no,
like...
they're coming from the direction you're going. They're a ways off in the distance, though.
Oh, okay. The way we're going?
Yeah.
Fuck. So I look over and I go, fuck. I think I see police lights up ahead. We might be running into something. Fuck.
Do you see if you can see a ditch? Is there a ditch around?
I kind of look around and see if I can. Do I have to do an observe the situation and kind of get a good view? Or
you got some questions you can ask.
So I will go with asking. Yeah, the first question: is there like some sort of like little like runoff ditch thing we could dip into to try to hide potentially?
Not so much hide, but there is kind of the remnants of maybe it was an old service path or something. You're not quite sure. It's definitely like you can see the remnants of tire tracks in the dirt that lead off into the deep desert away from the road. But it's not well maintained. It's not obviously a road. It's like at best a abandoned dirt road. You even see kind of some small shrubs growing up through the path.
Okay. Does it look relatively secluded so that like we'd be okay going in there? Or...
I mean, it's a path through the Nevada desert. There's not exactly a lot of cover in the Nevada desert, but motorcycles typically don't do off-roading all that well unless they're dirt bikes, and the cops are far enough away they haven't necessarily seen you yet.
Fuck it. Yeah. No, I'm like, it's over there. There's something right there. Looks like we can kind of cut off for a bit and kill two birds with one stone, if you will.
Gotcha. I turn off the lights and I peel off into that access road.
All right. Both of you give me a keep it together as you kind of hightailed out into the dark of the desert.
I rolled a 12, keep it together, partial success.
I rolled a 9 failure on that keep it together. So I either suffer emotional trauma or life-changing trauma.
All right. And that means you suffer, I'm going to say you suffer emotional trauma. So you're going to suffer -2 stability from that one. Alex, you getting mad, angry, sad, scared, guilty?
I'm going to say that I can choose between mad, sad, or kind of like
scared or guilty. They're all -1 stabilities. I'm just trying to get a sense of how you're losing that stability.
You know what? Honestly, I think the logical conclusion here is probably combination of angry and scared, but more towards scared.
Skangry, if you will.
Skangry is a good way to put it. Yeah.
All right, cool. So -1 stability from that, -2 stability from you, Jad. So, Jad, you're driving and just kind of emotions are flowing over you. Maybe this is an escape. Maybe this will lead you to your death. You're not quite sure. Your partner through all of this is getting angrier and like showing visible fear as well. What's the vibe in the car like right now as you're kind of bumping over terrain and that this car was never meant to traverse?
Oh, I am like so hyper focused right now because I'm just trying to make sure that I don't fucking like drive myself into a fucking or anything else like that. Because we're still kind of going pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
We are now leaving a dust trail, so it's still visible, but hopefully it's dark enough that it's like it's not. The police were up ahead. There's an entire bike gang behind us. For whatever reason, I'm just now realizing that Alex has like a fucking GPS phone. So in my mind, I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? We have like geo-tracking on us and whatnot. I have a burner phone that I bought with cash from like a Safeway or like, sorry, a Safeway, Jesus Christ, from like a Stater Brothers. So I'm just trying not to die. And it's it's everything's on the back burner. But I am sweating and kind of angry and just still gunning it.
All right. Alex?
Well, I mean, with the pressure coming on, I'm kind of obviously scared because we've got the sirens making noise there, and I'm worried on that front. But also, I'm kind of mad about these fucking bikers that we're having to deal with. So now that we have to go off yet another path somewhere else is particularly annoying. But yeah, it's just really frustrating. And yeah, angry is a really, really good way to put it.
All right. Dad, give me an observe the situation -1 because you're driving.
Partial success.
The road is getting much rougher up ahead. Give me an act under pressure with negative on it.
Nice. Partial success. I would like to slow down the car and maybe like actually, no. In that split decision, I would like to not completely stop it, but just kind of not be doing 90 on a dirt road.
Sure. Slow it down to kind of like a reasonable pace at that point.
Yes.
So what's your plan? You just kind of drive until you're out of gas? Like, what is the end goal of this?
So I would like to keep going until I can no longer see that we're being tailed.
All right.
Because ultimately I want to stop, pull out that little route map, kind of cross-reference it with what Alex has, because, hey, if Alex has a fucking GPS phone, then sweet, at least we could use that as a tool, and see whether or not there is another access road that we can get to kind of move around, or if we can get back onto the main road past the police stop.
All right. So because of your partial success, you're making good time through the desert, but realize that at some point, kind of in the bumping of the driving, something punctured your gas tank. You're losing gas a lot faster than you should be. Also, not the most fuel efficient car, really powerful motor. The weight of 2 people is definitely kind of killing your mileage some. Suspension's been a bit messed up at this point. Like all the bumping and weaving is definitely taken its toll on this definitely not new car by over half a century. Dawn does start to kind of break up over the horizon some as you're slowly driving. The gas tank's getting back down towards empty, though. Maybe you'll have enough gas to get back to the road. Maybe you won't. What do you do?
You said you filled up the car, right?
Yeah, no, I filled it up.
Okay. I think something got fucked up on our getaway, because I'm reading like almost to empty. Like I got maybe like an eighth of a tank left.
What the shit? I feel.
Look, we could stop to check out the car or whatnot, or we can keep going. I kind of don't want to stop just because I don't know if this thing is going to start back up again. But
yeah, I think we need to let's just keep fucking going as much as we can, but try to get on the road if you can or something. I don't know.
I'm going to orient myself based off of where the sun or where the light's coming from.
So give me an investigate.
All right. 8 failure.
It's the sun coming up over the horizon is kind of blinding. It's hard to keep track of things. You get some questions, though.
Okay. So sun's kind of blinding with it, just kind of rising and everything else like that. So if sun's blinding that I'm kind of driving east, I want to head towards north. Can I orient myself kind of away from the sun and start like heading a little bit more north?
Yeah, you can roughly do that using the sun. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Did it just straight up go from like hella dark to like almost like daybreak?
You've been driving for quite some time.
Okay. I don't know if we just kind of like blipped into suddenly like a time skip moment or something. But okay.
You've been driving for quite some time. Like you were quite off the road as you slowed down. Like you made less time, but like less speed too at that point.
Alex, what's your GPS say? Where are we at?
Let me take a look here. Pull out my phone and check where we are on the GPS.
Says you're in the middle of goddamn nowhere.
Once I get an idea that apparently we're in the middle of nowhere, I look like flabbergasted for a second, and I'm like, it says we're in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Okay, but can you like zoom out? Like what part of nowhere? Are we like anywhere closer to Vegas? Are we closer to like fucking Buffalo Bills or whatever the hell that weird little like border town is?
I'll try to zoom out on the map and see if I can find any kind of markers I can identify or something.
Yeah, give me an investigate.
Investigate 10, partial success.
You are south of Vegas, definitely, but also you are really in the middle of nowhere. Like, there's no roads nearby, as best you can tell, according to the GPS anyway. And the information it's showing you definitely shows like you've got rough terrain in every direction, including the one you want to go.
Is we're kind of fucking far from Vegas. I don't see any roads. Like, I mean, when I say we're in the middle of nowhere, like here, and I at this point, I'm just like, I hand the phone to Jad to look.
Damn it. Okay. Shit. We're going to lose the car, I think, at some point. And I think we need to make sure that we use it as best as we can. Because at some point in time, the sun's going to start cresting and we're going to get into the 110s, 120s. I still have my extra clothes stashed, so at least we could use that as like partial shade, but we're going to be fucked if we're going to get caught in the day. Let me know if you see any kind of like hills or something that we can kind of find shade under, because I think we're going to need to make sure that we're getting into survival mode at this point in time. And as I'm driving, I'm going to try to see if I could see like a outcropping of like whatever kind of geological form, like a butte, hill, something to find shade under.
Yeah, there's a couple options like that. It's strange though. Everything has kind of like a jagged quality to it almost. Like it's sharper than desert stone typically looks.
I would like to navigate towards that.
Yeah, so as you approach it, it's almost like you approach kind of a strange rock outcropping. Like easily they're 20, 30 feet tall. You kind of come to the center of what you could best describe would be like a 3-fingered clawed hand reaching up out of the dirt towards the sky, kind of with the fingers extending up like long nails or something like that. And kind of roughly at the center of this, your car kind of takes a last shuddering lurch and runs out of gas. The various rocks around you are covered in a variety of brightly colored graffiti and markings. None of it seems to make all that much sense. You're not really sure where you are, though, either. There's no obvious signs, any indication of what way civilization might be. There are kind of a couple minor remnants of like what may have been campfires from a long time ago, not like ancient times, but like a couple years back or something in this little area. But yeah.
If the car's shot, I get out of the car and I open up the trunk, get whatever shit I have in the trunk out.
And I'll follow suit and grab whatever I can on that end, and then just
from that, I walk over to whichever rock outcropping is closest, and I lean up against it in the shade.
All right. So what are you two doing at this point? Like the sun is about to rise. You're in the middle of nowhere. You got these strange rock outcroppings. You gotta start walking. You gotta just kind of stay here and make a plan. Like, what's the play?
So this might sound crazy. I kind of want to wait until nightfall to start moving. We should take this time to rest.
No, that tracks. That makes sense. We need to get sleep somehow. It seems like the shade is probably the best spot we can do. But
how much battery do you have left?
I'll check my phone and see if how much battery I have. I got about 50%, so I can turn it off and then we can power it back on later to kind of preserve it.
Okay. Can you see what? Actually, hold up. And I run back to the car and I grab the physical map and I jog back over to where we're at. Can you pull up your maps again? I just want to mark where we're at on this thing, so that way we can preserve your battery and we can kind of figure out where the nearest road is. From there, we'll here. And I look towards this where the sun's cresting, and I'll use that to mark like an arrow in the ground with like my foot. I'll just drag across. I'll drag across from it, and I'll mark which way north is, and then just so that way we have a cardinal direction, so that way we can orient ourselves from there.
So I'll kind of compare the two maps, and it will go ahead and mark the location that matches up with the map on my phone.
All right, so I'm gonna try and like navigate some and just gonna hang out here till nightfall.
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
All right, so as predicted, the sun comes up and it gets hot in a hurry. Both of you give me an endure injury with the damage being 1.
Did endure injury with the damage being 1?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Okay, cool. I fail with a 6, so I could be either knocked out, receive a critical wound, or die.
So you're going to pass out from kind of heat exhaustion, but also give me a keep it together as you kind of slowly fade out. Like, I'm assuming you're like sitting in the car maybe or something just to give yourself someplace to sit. Or you up against one of the rocks. Where are you positioning yourself?
I'm positioning myself in the shade of the rock because if I'm in the car, then I'm in an oven.
Makes sense. Yeah. So, all right. So you're going to lose one stability as you kind of. Which emotion are you going with on this one? You going sad, angry, scared, guilty?
I'm feeling guilty because I was the one who I drove, and that guilt is like kind of manifesting in like self-loathing because I drove. Sure. I'm the one who said like let's wait it out and see if we can just kind of coast by this and just kind of wash over this. I'm the one who killed time or who had us like kind of eat up some time and whatnot.
So let me give you the option. Do you want to get knocked out or do you want to take a serious wound?
I'm down to take. I think I'll pass out.
So you pass out. Alex, let's see your endure injury.
Well, I rolled a 9 endure injury.
So do you want to pass out or do you want to take a serious wound?
You know what? I'm just gonna fucking pass out.
So also give me a keep it together as you kind of slowly lose consciousness.
12, partial success.
All right. Are you becoming scared, sad, angry, guilt-ridden? Like, where are you sliding on this one?
I think now that we're in a situation where we have a certain expectation of being calm or trying to rest, I think the guilt is really starting to set in about what happened during the heist. So I think guilt is what's more than anything else.
You are passed out in the just blistering heat. Give me another endure injury as you're powerless to kind of help move yourself to a better location as you just bake in the sun.
Ooh, baby, I am frying. 1 again?
Yep.
I failed that endure injury.
All right, so you're going to take a serious wound as kind of like you enter into the dangerous stages of sunburn. Alex?
All right, I am doing, you said endure injury with 1, right?
-1, yep.
-1?
Yep.
12. Endure injury, partial success.
Since you're unconscious, you're going to take a serious injury because you're just baking out in the sun. So you are also kind of sliding into dangerously sunburned.
Okay.
So on the wound tracker, just make sure you add a wound and then also add sunburned or something. You both kind of come to mid-afternoon. The sun is still up. It's still hot. Give me another endure injury as you just continue to bake, this time at -2.
Jesus Christ. Hey, cool. Awesome. So I am suffering from radiation damage, it looks like. Thanks, Charlie. I got another 7, or I got another failure on endure injury. That's a 7. I'm already seriously sunburned. Do I get a serious wound, a critical wound, or do I die?
I'm not going to kill you yet. I'll give the option of passing out again or serious wound.
Let's do another serious wound. Maybe like kind of come to and I realize like, oh, fuck, I passed out and I'm now under sun exposure and the shade has completely moved.
Yeah. Give me keep it together as part of that.
That is a failure on the keep it together with a 7.
I'd say this feels like some life-changing trauma.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is some life-changing trauma. So that's -4 stability?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'm broken, so go ahead and move my fucking puppet body as you would like.
Oh. All right, Alex, give me a endure injury.
At -2, you said?
At -2.
7, failure.
All right, you taken another serious wound?
Sure.
All right, give me a keep it together.
All right.
-4 stability.
Jesus Christ.
So let's paint the scene as the sun comes down. Are you broken as well, or are you still?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm fucking broken.
So as the sun comes down, numerous vultures have all gathered around you. Some circle in the air. You're bleeding from your gums. Every part of you hurts. You have no more sweat left. Any part of your skin that's exposed is burned. It's starting to peel and crack. You have boils and blisters all over you from the intensity of the sun. And off in the distance, you hear the sound of car approaching. And as you're kind of too weak on the ground to move, you look up as a yellow cab pulls into the clearing, basically kind of where you two are lying on the ground. And an individual in brown pants steps out of the car. Again, hat still pulled down, weirdly low over their eyes so you can't see them, and goes, I only got space for one of you. Figure out who's coming with me.
In my delirium, I kind of just look at Alex and I lift up my hand in just the rock formation of Rochambeau. I may or may not accidentally have just left like my trigger finger out or like my pointer finger out a little bit.
Quick question. Do I have line of sight with the cab driver?
Yeah, he's not being subtle.
Can I try to shoot the cab driver?
You can.
I want to try to shoot the cab driver. Fuck this.
All right. Give me a engage in combat.
16. Success.
So you hit the cab driver and you definitely hit him. Like there's a hole in his jacket, but like no blood comes out. He barely even reacts to getting shot. Kind of like leans down onto his knees and looks at you and goes, I said, figure it out amongst yourselves. I don't have to take either of you. I just have space for one of you. Is that your final answer? Is this your choice?
I rush him. If he's just being whatever the heck at that point in time, I see what's going on and I'm going to support Alex. I try to tackle the cab driver.
All right, give me an engage in combat.
Engage in combat, baby. 14, partial success.
All right, so you successfully kind of tackle him, but he just kind of easily shoves you off on the ground next to Alex. Cab looks down at you and goes, Gentlemen, I respect the spirit, I suppose, but like I said, I could take one of you. I had space for one of you. Now I got space for neither of you. Gets back in his car and you hear the engine start up and reverses out of the space and drives off, leaving you in the desert as the sun dips below the horizon. Give me a observe situation.
I rolled an 8 failure.
Rolled an 11, partial success.
Alex, you don't see it until the eyes of the coyotes are reflected out in the darkness from the headlamps of the cab. Jad, you hear them coming far before that as a pack of half-starved to death coyotes just descend upon your location. What do you do?
There's coyotes.
So I don't see them, but
There's a lot.
how many? Yeah, I guess how many are there?
At least 20?
I toss the gun to Jad and I go, you can fire around to try to scare him. And if that doesn't work, leave me as bait and go.
I checked the magazine. How many shots do I have left?
I'm going to say 2.
So I'm going to listen to Alex, at least in that sense. Can I see them at all or I just hear them?
Oh, you can see them. Their eyes are kind of glinting out in the dark in the headlamps of the cab that's now pulled off like 100 yards away or something, is shining the lights at you.
They're 100 yards away?
No, the cab's 100 yards away. They're maybe
Cab's
20.
100 yards away. Okay. And the coyotes are closer.
Much closer.
Much closer. Cool. I take a shot at the coyotes to see if I can scare them off.
All right. See an engage in combat.
16 success.
Let's see an influence others now.
That is a 9% failure.
The shot kind of hits one of them, it yelps, but like they sense you're weak.
And I mean, at this point, I'm assuming I just can't really look over where they are, but I kind of ask Dad for audio confirmation and I go, scare them off? Are they still here?
They're still coming. You have the bayonet?
Yeah. And so I reach into like, I guess I had it like in a little pocket holster thing, whatever. I hand it off or like toss it in like the direction I heard Jad's voice. And I just go, good luck.
I press the gun to your temple and I ask yes or no.
Upon feeling the gun against my temple, I go, save the round. You might need it. Let me die.
I could let you die slowly or I can make this easy. Are you sure?
Save the round. You're wasting time. Go.
I pause for a second and I just kind of lick my lips. It's dry. I have no water left in me, I think. But at that point in time, I'm going to bend down and give Alex a hug, tell him thank you, and then I'm just going to try to go as far as I can.
All right. You head towards the cab or just in a random direction?
The cab drove past the coyotes, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to try to do like a bank shot almost because the cab driver, I'm going to imagine, is going to try to drive back towards the road.
We'll assume.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to see if I could like run diagonal from the coyotes and then run towards the cab and just kind of try to follow it. Hopefully to find a road.
The cab just kind of sits there almost waiting for you.
Okay, cool. I run towards the cab.
All right, yeah. So as you approach the cab, the stranger gets out, opens up the rear door, and says, "So you finally figured it out, huh?"
Yeah, and I fire at the cab driver.
You mean engage in combat?
15 success.
I mean, you hit him, but again, like the bullet doesn't do much. It just kind of thuds into him. And again, it punches a hole in his jacket. He like puts one of his fingers out the new hole and kind of like gestures, like wiggles his finger around through it and goes, "Man, I like this jacket. It's hard to find jackets like this these days. To pull this off a guy last time I found a jacket I liked. Last chance. Am I taking you to Vegas or no?"
Fine. And I get into the back seat. All the while, I'm still like, as I'm sitting in the back seat, I toss the gun to the side, but I do try to get my hand on that bayonet. I'll be sitting behind the driver.
Yeah, so driver puts the cab in gear, starts driving it towards the road, quiet for a couple of minutes. "Oh, there's water by the end of the seat if you want it. We're in a full-service establishment. Goddamn Uber and Lyft kind of made it so I had to keep shit like water in the cab."
Back seat, is it like in the pocket or where at?
Below the seat, the one you're sitting underneath the bench. You should be able to feel it with your hand down there.
I kind of like shift my body weight to kind of make it seem as if I'm grabbing a water, but at that point in time, I'm going to try to stab the dude in the neck with the bayonet.
Let me engage in combat.
14 partial success.
You're going for the neck?
I'm going for the neck. I want to take the cab and I want to see if I can get back to Alex.
All right, so the bayonet goes into his neck. And it just kind of stays there. You see kind of his skin where you stabbed in start to like climb up the bayonet, almost like pulling it into his body or something.
I try to yank the bayonet out.
You mean act under pressure?
And partial success.
You eventually get it free and it kind of comes loose with like a squelching, almost like suctiony popping sound. And the driver kind of slows the cab, turns around to look at you, or not really look at you, again, like the hat's obscuring his eyes, and like just hits you with this smile that's a little too big and a little too toothy, and goes, "I have the right to reject any service in my cab if I so wish. For all the fuck I care, you can walk."
Take the other one then. Take Alex.
Ah, little late to be going back on your choices. Choices have consequences.
I'll take the consequences. Make sure you're safe. Take Alex.
That kind of pulls over, gets out of the cab, opens up your door, and goes, "All right, go get him."
Holy shit. I'm going to go get him?
Guy shrugs. Or don't. Your choice.
How far did we drive, per se? Do I hear the coyote still? Can I see him?
Give me a investigate.
That is a 17 success.
You can't even see the rock formation anymore. You made an impossible amount of time.
I sit back down in the taxi.
Cab's gone.
The cab's gone?
Not even a sign the cab was ever there. No tire marks or anything.
Shit. Okay. Are there stars in the sky? Can I like navigate with them by chance?
Better than that. Off to the north of you, you can see the glow of Las Vegas. It's a few miles away. Call it 10, give or take.
I kind of grip the bayonet and just yell fuck at the top of my lungs. At that point, I'm going to start trudging towards Vegas.
On behalf of all of us at Negative Modifier, thank you for listening, and we do hope you enjoyed this episode. If you are not already a subscriber, please consider becoming one, partially so you do not miss our next episode, but mostly because it helps new listeners find us. In addition to that, if you like the episode, please consider clicking the thumbs up button below. If you'd like to further support the show, please consider joining us on Discord or becoming a Patreon patron.